Welcome, golf fans, pursuers of knowledge and the almighty dollar. This is your golf guru bringing you the Palmetto Championship, my value play show. In essence, this is everything you're going to need to know before the lock. We are going to go over my favorite plays below 7,500. I'm going to cover ownership projections, weather, you name it, anything that I've got for you guys to help you out with your DFS lineups right before, and also any last minute bets. I'm going to try to help you out with that. And oh, by the way, this will be commercial free. And lastly, I also will be announcing the $100 winners from the US Open giveaway. I've got that for you too at the end of the show. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and jump in and let's get into the ownership projections. Okay, hopped over into Fantasy National, and what you're looking at is an updated ownership projections. And I always state we want to look at this far right number. And again, it could go up 1% or down 1%. And I'm recording this a little late today. I apologize, around 4:30 Eastern. But you guys will get this hopefully shortly. And we just kind of cruise through. Your number one highest owned projected player is Terrell Hatton. Your top three guys between DJ, Koepka, and Fitzpatrick are all around 18-19%. I'm actually pretty shocked that Matthew Fitzpatrick right now has that ownership projection. For the top five guys, your cheapest is Harris English. So if you're looking to differentiate, you could always look at Harris. Of course, funny enough, Sungjae Im's at 17.5%. That's also a little shocking due to his recent form and the approach being just terrible. But I've said Sungjae Im can at times flick the switch and can be very live. Tommy Fleetwood, who I kind of like, coming in at 15, and then you got Poulter, Kazire, Higo. Higo's at 10%. And I understand that. I mean, that's hard to ask $9,000 for a guy that's played in, really one PGA event that we've seen. Of course, had a great showing the last couple months in Europe, the European Tour. But, we haven't seen it translate over here, but, had a decent showing at the PGA Championship. All right, kind of moving down through your next highest owned, Lucas Glover. Again, that's the only guy we know has some course history. I also heard, I have not verified, but I heard supposedly Luke List has played here and holds the course record. That is not verified, but that is the buzz around. Trying to see if there's anybody else. Harold Varner's coming in at 16%. You got Russell Knox at 6%. So if you're looking at for some differentiation, of course, he was at 6,100 last week with Kyle Stanley. A little bit of a price jump there. You got Danny Willett, who I mentioned did withdraw, and I did hear from one of the subscribers, thank you, that I guess he had appendicitis, so he had to go get that removed and get that taken care of. As I mentioned, Luke List at 16.5. You got Vince Whaley coming in at almost 20%, so that's pretty high too. Ben Martin, that's kind of interesting. Right now is at a 15% ownership. You know what? Let's go and just jump on Ben Martin real quick. I don't even know if I was going to look at him on the value play, so we'll take a look at him. So he does gain over his life of his career a little bit on Bermuda. Ben's his favorite. You can see stroke gain is on the way up, so he's trending in the right way. Over his last 5 events, he's gaining tee to green, off the tee approach, even around the green, and a little bit with the putter. And I would guess this is the reason why, right? So he had a 26th and 11th. Miscut at RBC. Pretty good showing at Puerto Rico, Corrales, and Valero. Just want to see, maybe we can take a look at Arnold Palmer. He hasn't played in a while, but he had a miscut the last time. The Holly Dotties are played at the Open. What about the CJ Cup? No. Funny enough, some people have been stating that RSM, which I don't know if I agree with this, is a decent comp course. I've seen it in multiple places. And it is Bermuda. There is some water, but it is a short track. It's not the course that I would really sit and think of. So anyways, just to give you, I don't think I was going to cover Ben Martin. So you get a little extra look at that gentleman. I just wanted to know what people were seeing. And I guess it's just the last 2 events he's had a pretty good finish. And also, I guess, for that price tag. You got JT Poston, CL Mafia guy at 4%. Only thing he's been doing is really putting a little bit. Anybody else that's really standing out? Bronson Borgoon Hey guys, that's someone that I'm going to be touting here shortly, and you saw his picture on the opening slide, so that's interesting. So I can't say I'm the one that's been driving up that ownership. Bramlett up to 8%, someone that I like. Satoshi Kodaira, someone we're going to talk about. Hank Laboda, 14%, also somebody that I'll be looking at and talking about. You got John Pock, the college phenom at 9.5%. Just want to see if there's anybody else down here. Chase Seifert, 4%. Of course, he had a nice little run there. It was kind of a, if you want to call it a condom play, he was a good six-man in to hopefully get you that 6-for-6 lineup. And I'm just scrolling down to see if anything shows up. Nope. Okay. And as you've seen, we've had more withdrawals. I'm actually going to also talk about the U.S. Open Qualifier. I didn't really get into that a whole lot, but I thought, something we'll touch point on. So you got Peter Molinari, who did qualify for the U.S. Open, and then he bolted on playing here at the Palmetto. Sun King, also amazing enough, qualified. And he also bolted, and Nate Lashley did not qualify, but for whatever reason did withdraw. So he didn't do bad at the U.S. Open qualifier. I was actually looking at him to be a value play. Great iron player, can get pretty hot with the putter, as we saw on the West Coast swing at the AT&T Pro-Am. But he withdrew, so I removed him from my my value plays. Okay, I think that's it from an ownership projection, and let's get into some of the analysis. All right, now still over here at Fantasy National, but we're just now moving over. I've got about 15. I know that says only 4. That's not correct. I've got about 15, 16 guys. So as you'll see, there is, as we already talked about multiple times, this is a rough field. It has just gotten rougher and rougher. I mean, I'm talking alternates to the alternates to the alternates are getting in this tournament at this point. I'm seeing names that I haven't seen in forever. So pretty interested on that side. So what I did is I sifted through all the garbage and picked out some of the gems, I would say, in the rough. The first guy, Camilo Villagegas, if you've been a subscriber of the show or watched me quite a bit, I've been touting him now for over like 7-8 months. And he's done well. I mean, he's had some really nice finishes for us. Of course, the price tag, even in this field, is definitely moved up, but still a pretty good price for Camilo. You can see the one ranking where I wanted guys that did well from 175 to 200. He does not do that well, but around the green, solid. And, driving distance is not where we want, but he can be a great ball striker, and approach is where he's elite. If I click on Camilo, you can see Bermuda is his best putting surface. So, what I'm kind of hoping, we can kind of look at this. So when he had that kind of Bermuda swing like the Honda, where he had a good show and he gained, 5 strokes with the putter. You had RBC, which I'm pretty sure that's Bermuda. Yep. He also gained with the putter. Where else? The Valspar. He had a nice showing. That was Bermuda. So long story short, what I'm going with here is my hopes is that Camilo can keep the iron play up. He gets back on Bermuda and, does well there. Of course, Memorial was bent. Charles Schwab was bent also. So funny enough, I mean, and again, I don't put a ton of stock in the type of green, grass, whatever, but there is some showings here that he does like to put on Bermuda. So all that said, you can also see, approach around the green and putting well, it's typically off the tee, that he doesn't gain a ton. And now that's more distance. He's pretty accurate. And again, with, firm, fast fairways is how it's supposed to play. Now, there's also that flip side of, and I'm going to go into weather. If we do get some rain, of course, that's going to make the course even play longer. So we have to look at that. All right, so Camilo is the first guy I wanted to talk about. I brought up Wilco Niebar, just for you guys to know who this is. The guy hits the ball a ton. I think if you go out there on YouTube, there's some videos where, a 425-yard drive or something like that. So he led the tour in driving distance. If you look at every other stat, is not good. That's literally all the guy can do. So I just wanted to bring it. He did have a win which is the European, like the PGA Corn Ferry Tour. So he won on the Challenge, European Challenger Tour, I think it was a few months back or a couple months back. But how do you weight that? I mean, if we saw a guy that we knew on the Corn Ferry that's kind of going back and forth, between the PGA and had a win, maybe that might resonate. But all I want to point him out is if he's a name that you don't know, where he's coming from. You can see in my model rank he's 155. He's not one of my value plays I'm recommending. I'm just letting you know if you kind of put an all bomber lineup together, could be someone interesting to put in. But like I said, I looked at his stats and it's not good on all fronts. So that's that. All right, Bronson Borgoon, one of the guys that I wanted to spend a couple seconds on. Of course, he is doing the things that I like from a proximity gain at 175 to 200. He's very positive there. He's had this kind of Jekyll and Hyde back and forth. So a T13 at the Nelson, Wells Fargo had a cut, Valspar T13, Valero cut, Corrales. So funny enough, as you can kind of see, if you follow this trend, technically he should have a cut here. But I think his game, driving distance is, elite of the field, around the greens elite. The putter can get super hot. We can go take a look at his putting splits. So you see over his life of his career, gains mostly on bent, but is positive on Bermuda. If we wanted to just go look at stroke gain approached, that's something I kind of like. You can see it was on a nice trend. It's trend down a little bit, but not terrible. You can also kind of see that highlighted here. But his last event, the Byron Nelson, gained total 7.3 strokes on the field. He did it, with a nice mix of 2 off the tee, 1.6 on approach, around the green, gained 3 with the putter. If we kind of scroll down, the last time he gained a nice sizable, which funny enough, that is that should be Poana. Let me take a look here. Yeah, Poana was on the West Coast swing at the AT&T. If we wanted to plug in some of the courses, the problem is with a lot of these guys, they're not going to play a lot of the courses that I was kind of hoping to bang them up against. Hence why I'm just going to plug into RSM. As I mentioned, a lot of people are touting that. I don't know if I agree with it. I see some fits there. I'd rather, Bay Hill or PGA West, where the Hondas played. He did have a 67th there. Give me some longer Bermuda tracks are a little more difficult. I think this fits in that bucket. I usually always lump in like OHL, RSM, RBC, the acronym courses. I lump those all kind of in. They all kind of play very similar to some degrees from a length and whatnot. But anyways, just to let you know, I'm on Bronson. I think that's a good pick for, again, what we have to pick from. Moving along, I also just brought up Davis Thompson. He actually rates out, funny enough, but we can't really go with a whole lot of this data. Davis Thompson is the number 1 rated amateur, and then from the PGA University, he's number 2 right behind John Pak. I brought him up yesterday. I'm bringing him up again just to let you know that the guy's got a ton of talent, but it's not proven at all on the PGA Tour. The date and information that we are looking at here, let's see. Literally it's just a few tournaments. He's played a couple times. Must have been an invite for the RSM. So not a ton to go on, but I just wanted to point him out that just, if you're looking for a possibility of a young talent, making his debut with John Pak on the PGA Tour, someone to look at. Okay, so Patrick Rogers. I like him. Of course, one thing I did want to pull up, just why we're at it. Just remind me of it. Okay, so talking about the U.S. Open qualifying. So this was, of course, the Monday qualifiers, 36 holes, as people always state, maybe the toughest day in golf. And I just thought it was interesting. So this is the one that was out of Columbus, Ohio. Of course, we had a lot of guys there, and it's probably the most PGA guys. I think the one that you want to look at. And really, you can glean a lot of stuff. You could take different narratives. So you had Ches Reavie, who shot 12 under, who's playing at the Palmetto, but the guy's just been terrible all year. When Ches was hot, he could make a lot of birdies. And he kind of, for me, always fit in that Ryan Armour, Brian Stewart, Stroud, the guys that kind of plotted themselves around a course and could do well. Not somebody that I'm on. But just to let you know, he out of a pretty, you know, somewhat strong PGA contingent for like the B squad, if you want to call it. He shot 12 under. You had EVR too, who again hasn't been really showing any form. He shot 12 under to qualify. Both those guys have not withdrawn for the tournament, so you can look at it. They just played a lot of golf. They're just getting over to Palmetto to do at least a 1 day kind of acclimation of the course and whatnot. So, like I said, you could go either way. You can go with, hey man, they're playing some good golf. They played well over 36 holes at a country club. That is maybe not that tough. I didn't do any research on this course. Looks like one played Lakes Golf CC and the other played Brooks Golf. So a couple country clubs to qualify. You got JT Poston, who also qualified, shot 10 under. He's in the field. You got Party Marty, shot 9 under. He qualified. RCB's in the field. He shot 8 under. I don't think Dylan Fratelli or Steele. I already mentioned Sun King. He actually withdrew. So he qualified and said, I'm out of here. Got Adam Hadwin, who's not in the field. Schwartzel not in the field. Molinati, he withdrew. He was in the field. Pearson Coody actually was the top. So there was Cole Hammer and Pearson Coody. I don't believe Pearson Coody's in this field. I had to verify that. I didn't even look. I know Cole Hammer is, but they both played for University of Texas. 1 and 2 guys. I did talk about them in previous shows. But yeah, a young talent coming onto the PGA Tour at some point. Tom Hoagie, I don't think is in this. And then Jonathan Vegas is in the Palmetto. And here's Cole Hammer. So he just missed by a stroke. Keegan missed. Duffner's in the field, but he missed. I don't know what Brandon Hagee is. Padre Harrington, he tried, and he's in this field. Also had a good showing. I mentioned at Kiowa. Could be someone to look at. I don't think a lot of people are going to be looking to play Padre. I told you Nate Lashley missed and then withdrew from the. So let's go take a look at Nate. I just want to see if he. So that's interesting. So what usually guys will do, if he must have thought he had a pretty good chance, because there's guys that will draw. Like say you had a triple bogey on your second 18, guys will just pull out right then. Just like, I don't have a chance of doing this now. I'm out of here. So that's just interesting. He played all 36 and didn't make it. And then, because I was trying to figure out if he actually got hurt or something happened. I guess he just, you can see here his last 3 holes. I'm guessing this is his last 3 holes. Went 3 over. So that's why he stayed with it as long as he did. Yeah, because he would have been 7 under and he would have qualified. So if he wouldn't have bogeyed his last 3 out of 4 holes, he would have been good. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. I think that's it. I just wanted to cover that real quick with you guys because I didn't do a whole lot of the, U.S. Open kind of spin Monday qualifier stuff. I sit there and think you could look at it both ways. You could go, hey, good recent form. They're staying in the tournament. I want to play them. Or you could say, hey, they didn't get to practice here. They didn't get to really work on here. They're tired out. Their mind's going to be focused on, Torrey Pines. So are they really going to want to, play 4 days of golf here? You could spin it either way. Okay, let's get back into the guys. And we were talking about Patrick Rogers. So that's why I kind of jumped over there. Because Patrick Rogers did qualify. He did not qualify. It was a different sectional qualifier, but he did qualify. Just so, side note. Adam Schenk, another guy that I'm on. Good from the proximity 175 to 200. Good ball striker. Struggles a little bit around the green. But all in all, we've been kind of keeping an eye on Adam Schenk. He's been a play down here. He's a pretty, again, steady kind of condom play, if you want to put it that way. He likes putting on Bermuda. And overall, strokes gained. Been on an upward trend. If we look over his last few tournaments, getting off the tee approach, struggling around the green and putter. Gained with the putter at Byron Nelson. And approach, everything else was not so hot. And then you can see at the Valspar, actually did very well tee to green, just lost on the putter. RBC, which is Bermuda, gained in all areas but off the tee. Okay, so that's Hammer and Hank. I'm not running through again a bunch of, because a lot of these guys are not going to be the courses that I want to look at. So I'm not doing the comparison courses. I'm just telling you guys that I like down here. Brian Stewart, my Central Michigan golfer, it's done, does well on the 175 to 200. Good on approach, good on ball striking. Again, this is over the last 12 rounds, both of these little areas that you're looking at. And this is recent results over here. Sorry, I didn't go over that again. But if you've been with me, you know what we're looking at. So real good on ball striking, you know, of course, distance. But at this price tag, Brian Stewart, I think, is a decent play. I picked him as a value play, I think, not too long ago. Kramer Hickok, right, just had that good showing in Texas. Now, you know, was that a little bit of a one-off? I don't know. You can see a couple cuts and a couple 50s, but you could go with a recent form kind of thing, kind of up and down on the proximity for 175 to 200. You know, it's been good around the green lately. The putter's been stinking. Satoshi Gadire is another one. Again, just pointing out some guys that I think you could play down here and not be, you know, wouldn't hopefully will get you to the weekend. Right, he's had a couple out of nowhere really nice finishes. And let's go look at Satoshi because I believe a lot of that's been done with the putter. Now you can see over the life, Bermuda is not his favorite, but bent is, and we just have been on a couple bent courses. So that would be, yeah, that's interesting. So you can see, and I'll confirm that, but the Byron Nelson TPC Craig Ranch was bent, and Wells Fargo. Oh, nope, that was Bermuda. So I was thinking Charles Schwab was the other event, but that's not. He didn't play there. Okay, but anyways, he's been gaining a bunch of strokes with the putter, doing well off the tee and approach. So Sadoshi's been, you know, showing a little life. That's probably his best two finishes. I'm just going to scroll down here for a while. Let's see the last time Satoshi. So the last time Satoshi's cracked the top 20 was when he won at RBC back in 2018. And he's had nothing since that. So maybe he's found something. You know, someone to think about again if you're down in that range. I'd have to guess. Yeah, his ownership, 7.5. I mean, Hammer and Hank Laboda, a guy that I'm high on this week again. You know, pretty solid finishes. You can see over here at 17th at Byron, 51st at Wells, Valspar 13th, 5th on approach out of this field, 9th in ball striking. You know, the distance isn't that great, but again, it's supposed to be firm fast is what we're hoping. So hopefully that, you know, he's not, you know, if you hit it 280, might roll out to 320. You know, it all depends. We have to see how this course actually plays, but good around the green and good with the putter. If we click on Hammer and Hank, Bermuda is not his best surface, but he has been gaining with the putter. And at the Nelson, he gained. At Valspar, he gained. At AT&T, which that's POA. And I'm going to click on this. Okay, Valspar is Bermuda, right? That's Florida. Byron Nelson, I think, was bent. Okay, again, just want to walk myself through that. But anyways, I like Hammer and Hank. You can see he's ranking 5th out of my model. And at that price at 6,900, you can see some other people are also liking him at 13%. Tyler McCumber, the guy who slammed his finger in the door wall and then almost won a tournament. So I actually want to go look. So where was that at? Was that the Honda? It wasn't Corrales. I think it was, oh, no, it was the Players. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was in his hotel room and somehow, I don't know how, but slammed like the door wall and just smashed his finger. And yeah, at one time, I think he was up on the leaderboard, 72 to 69. Still had a decent finish for him, but that was at the Players. Again, 6th on approach, 19th in ball striking. The guy can hit the ball off the tee. He ranks 7th in distance out of this field. 36 around the green. As you see, the putter is his nemesis. Also does a really nice job from 175 to 200, getting that ball close to the pen. And then we look at recent results, you know, a cut, a 50th, a cut, an 18th at Corrales, and then a 33rd at Honda. Yeah, I like Tyler. I put Cole Hammer up here again. I kind of mentioned him briefly, but he missed the cut, I think, by a stroke at Byron Nelson. And so, you know, he had a good showing there. Does well from 175 to now. You got to remember, this is over minimal data sample, right? We got 4 events that we're pulling off for Cole Hammer. And out of those, you can see it's not, you know, it doesn't hit the ball a ton, But, pretty solid player all in all. You can see a lot of people don't know about him. But this is the way I look at it. If you're going to play John Pock, if you're going to play Davis Thomason, if you're going to play Augustine, if you're going to play some of these, unknown guys on the PGA Tour, I think Cole Hammer is just as good as a play. But John Pock's $100, more. So but I think you can make an argument for both of them. Are going to be great players on a PGA probably at some point in their career. Robbie Shelton, has had a couple made cuts. I just threw him on here, all yellow in this area. Nothing flashy. Robbie Shelton actually came out with Scheffler. They were both very highly touted. And you can see Scheffler, of course, did a lot more than Robbie Shelton has at this point. But at one time, everybody was talking about Robbie Shelton just like I was just talking about John Pock or, Cole Hammer or these guys. Lahiri, Aniban Lahiri, I just put him in here. I don't think, not a lot of people are going to play Aniban, but, ball striking is ranked 20th over his last 12 rounds, 41 on approach, 51 in distance. You can see he does a good job also from 175 to 200. Yeah, that nice showing at the Valero. Other than that, it's been pretty ugly. But he can get hot. Typically what I've seen. Let me take a look at Lahiri real quick. So Bermuda is actually a little negative, but nothing crazy. This is what I was thought. I've watched that guy actually hit the ball very well, tee to green, and typically it's the putter that causes him. And so that makes, here you go, perfect sense, right? Gains 6 strokes with a putter and has a 5th. And if he doesn't gain with the putter, you can see it's a struggle. I'm trying to see the last time he gained. So at the Safeway, he gained 4. That's POA. The Valero, I believe that's bent. Nope, Bermuda. My bad. Dear. So yeah, Aniban Lahiri, again, kind of sneaky. I think he's a decent showdown play, to be honest with you. The guy can just rack up some birdies in a row, and then he can rack up some bogeys too, of course. All right, last two guys I'm just going to really touch upon. Hudson Swafford, my Harris English doppelganger. I put him on here. The guy's won twice on the PGA Tour, so he's a proven winner. Of course, I take that back. He's won for sure once. I was thinking he won again at Corrales, but I don't think. So yeah, he had a 6. Okay, I apologize. So in September, he won at Corrales. He had a 6th place, but he's won a PGA Tour event. He's won as many events as Tony Finau. So just let that sink in for a moment. Actually, he won the Amex. So he's actually won more than Tony Finau. Sorry, I'm just taking some jabs. I just want to see. Now I'm on the Hudson Swafford thing. Let's just take a look here. You guys had 2 victories. But anyways, where I was going with all this is that, for that kind of price tag, he's made 2 cuts, so he's showing a little bit of life again. And like I said, won a couple events on the PGA Tour. When you're down at 6,500, it's going to be hard pressed to find PGA Tour winners, and within the last 20 years or something like that. Again, you can see here he's doing well on the proximity gain from 175 to 200. And, nothing great from a ball striking, but he can hit the ball out there. And he can get hot with the irons, which, again, you're not going to win a tournament or have a 6th place finish if you can't pick up the irons. Last but not least, Christoph Ventura could just crush the ball at the tee. I think he had 2 holes in ones in the same tournament. I can't remember what was off the top of my head, but they were calling him Ace Ventura. But you can see here, proximity from 175 to 200, not too shabby. Not a bad putter. He played at Oklahoma State, right? So I think it was him and didn't him and Hovland pair up? I think it was for the Zurich or whatever it was. And you could watch him, and you'd see you'd think it would have been a pretty good pairing with Hovland because he can actually putt pretty well, but they didn't have that great of an out. But long story short, I think Christoph Ventura for 6,400 low ownership, I think he's a pretty decent play. He just hasn't been showing any results. So you can see he really gains a lot on bent. Bermuda's not his favorite, but you can see where, this always does a good job of visually just showing you where his strengths and weaknesses are. So great putter, pretty solid off the tee, but approach, nothing there, but around the green is where you struggle. But approach, I would say, is his Achilles heel. I just want to see the most strokes he's ever gained in an event. So 2.3. Trying to find out from an approach side. So at the Wyndham, he gained 4 strokes, gained off the tee. But funny enough, isn't that the way it goes? And then just couldn't put together the putter. Let me take a little more. That's it. I mean, his best ever PGA event gaining on approach was 4 strokes. Okay. Just was curious on that. So that's it from that side. Let's go jump over to weather just real quick, and then let's wrap this thing up. Oh, and we'll also talk about the winners. Okay, so jumping over to Wind Finder, again, I highly recommend it, especially if you're doing Showdown. If you're playing the classic 4-day events, just roster your teams and call it what it is. Right now, I want to refresh this real quick just to make sure we get the most up-to-date data. Again, this is now 5 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. So, yeah, nothing. Nothing here to really look at. They were saying thunderstorms on Thursday, but I'm not seeing that right now. I am pulling off, this is called Buford Marine. It's the closest to Ridgeland. So if you look at Hilton Island and go kind of northwest a little bit, you'll see Ridgeland, and then Buford was the closest point I could pull from there. And if we go to Friday, looks like the winds are going to pick up in the afternoon, so maybe a morning. So I was kind of looking at this to see if there was if you were going to roster a team, I don't see a real advantage from, if you try to do early, late, you're going to get hit here maybe. So nothing really there. I'll be doing Showdown. You might want to both of them pick some early tee times. Saturday looks like the winds could gust up to 25 in the morning. And if we go over to Sunday here, now that's when it looks like it could possibly rain on Sunday afternoon. So they were talking thunderstorms and whatnot in that area. Again, that could pop up, that could change. But right now, what I am seeing for the weather, we look like we're going to be pretty good. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. Okay, so my top 5 value plays are Camilo Villegas, the elite with approach and putting. Hopefully he can hit some fairways, get a little distance with these fast, firm greens. I think he can be very effective here. Also, we're getting him back on Bermuda where he's done his best. So, we'll see how Camilo plays out. You got Bronson Borgoon, pretty solid all around. Just for that price tag, I think he's a solid play. He can, has had a couple good recent rounds or tournaments. We got Hammer and Hank Laboda. Again, just kind of I call it more of a condom play, just someone that, can get you that 6-6. You got Patrick Rogers, as I mentioned recently, did qualify for the U.S. Open. He's had some decent rounds, and what I mean by that is not tournaments, but he's popped up on the radar. I don't know if it was Wells Fargo where he led, him and Sloan, I think, led on a Friday. So some little, signs of greatness, I guess we could say. And last but not least, Tyler McCumber, elite everywhere but with the putter. So if he can start making some putts, we might have a player there. Okay, so let's talk about some of the winners for the U.S. Open giveaway. So these 5 individuals, you are all now $100 richer. And the results, as you can see, put them all into this wheel. I spin it. One time I showed the whole spin. It just takes too long. This was the results. We got John Adams, Dave S., Joseph Walton, Sean M., and EP1431. Congratulations. Reach out to me on YouTube comments if you watch this, and just let me know your PayPal email address. I'll send over the money. And I will also, of course, reach out to you guys because not everyone is going to be watching this. Shame on you, but that could happen. So I'll be reaching out to you guys to let you know. And again, congrats. Thank you all. We had 64 entries. So I thank you all for that. And I will keep doing these. We have a lot of majors and big events coming up. So I will keep doing the giveaways. Okay, that's it. I thank you very much. Again, just from an overall perspective, take some risks this time. Again, I'm going to do a little more on the betting side. I think I put 10 lineups in the large 200K DFS lineup and just kind of, went on, a European lineup, a short game lineup, a long bombers lineup. I just try to mix it and match it. So that's, if you wanted a recommendation on how to build, the rookie lineup, you could put John Pock, Davis Tomlinson, Cole Hammer, and then you could throw in the Brooks and the DJ. There's a lot of different ways to get creative, but I think it's, this, for me, this could be a tournament that I think is going to be a high odds. Now, I say that and DJ will go out and smoke the field by 20. But I see some, I won't say random, but somebody that we were not expecting. And so I'm trying to cover as many bets as I can from 100 to 1 and up, and hope that hits. All right, guys, thanks so much. Like and share if you would. Subscribe if you haven't. And if I can help you with anything else, hit me up on Twitter at DFS Golf Guru or at YouTube comments. And all the best to us. Good luck. I am excited for the U.S. Open, as I'm sure you are. And I will have my show and all ready to go for Monday. Talk to you guys later.